Before you hear today's story, remember this: never judge a person by their clothing, their age, or their calm voice, because you never know what kind of journey their life has carved inside them. This is one of the most unforgettable moments in a millionaire's life, when a simple request from a quiet elderly woman revealed a truth powerful enough to silence an entire room. Make sure to subscribe to USA Drama 2.0 for more life-changing stories like this. The marble floors of the Grand Heights Financial Center gleamed under the sunlight, as if polished by the morning rays themselves. Each visitor stepped inside with purpose: professionals in fitted suits, entrepreneurs with leather briefcases, and retirees looking for guidance. Behind one of the tallest desks sat Adrian Maxwell, a 42-year-old self-made millionaire and CEO of the financial center. Charismatic, sharp, always smiling, but known for one flaw: he dismissed anyone who didn't look wealthy. To him, wealth was visible. Expensive shoes, luxury watches, confident voices, those were the signs he believed in. So, when the front door opened and a tiny 90-year-old woman, walking slowly with a cane and wearing a faded cardigan, stepped inside, no one expected what would follow. Her name was Evelyn Harper. She entered quietly, almost unnoticed, except by a few security guards who exchanged sympathetic glances. Evelyn stopped at the reception desk and said in a soft voice, "Baby, I just wanna check my balance." Her voice trembled slightly, not out of fear, but age. The receptionist, a young woman named Clara, smiled kindly. "Of course, ma'am. Please wait just a moment while I get someone to assist you." But before she could call a representative, Adrian himself stepped out of his glass office, laughing with two investors who followed behind him. Adrian noticed Evelyn standing by the counter. He didn't even try to hide his amusement. Checking a balance, he chuckled lightly. "Ma'am, the customer service desk is at the side. We usually handle premium accounts here." The investors laughed with him, not cruelly, but ignorantly, assuming she was just another elderly woman with a small pension account. Evelyn, still smiling kindly, nodded. "Oh, that's all right, young man. But they told me to speak to the person in charge." Adrian raised an eyebrow. "The person in charge?" He turned to Clara, who froze. "Is this a joke? Why would you send her to me? She probably needs a simple statement printout." Clara blushed, embarrassed. She showed me a letter from the headquarters saying her account is under special management." Adrian paused. Special management was reserved only for elite clients, those with assets over $50 million. He laughed again. "Let me see that letter." Evelyn carefully opened her purse, revealing an old envelope with the bank's seal. Adrian skimmed it, and his eyebrows drew together. This wasn't fake. This wasn't mistaken. It had his signature, assigned personally to him. He looked at her again, this time with confusion instead of amusement. All right, ma'am. Please follow me to my office." Evelyn nodded politely and shuffled behind him. The investors watched curiously. One whispered, "Why is he wasting time with her?" Adrian whispered back, still half laughing, "Let's just get this over with." He had no idea that his world was about to shift. Adrian guided her to the large leather chair across from his desk. "All right, Ms. Harper, what balance did you want to check?" She smiled. "All of it." He blinked. "All of it?" "Yes, dear. Every penny." He sighed, typed her account number into the system, and turned the screen toward himself. What he expected, a few $1,000s. What he saw, $487 million and 72 cents. Adrian froze. His hand slowly slipped off the mouse. His heart skipped. His eyes widened. He thought for a moment that the computer had misread something. He typed it again. Same number. He refreshed the page. Same number. His investors, standing behind him, leaned forward and gasped. Evelyn simply folded her hands gently on her lap. Adrian's voice cracked. Ma'am, this can't be right. This amount, this would make you one of our top private clients." Evelyn nodded softly. "I suppose so, dear." Adrian swallowed. "You have nearly $500 million. She nodded again, "And I just wanted to make sure it was still safe." Adrian couldn't understand. "You never mentioned this before. Why didn't you come through our private entrance? We would have assigned a personal chauffeur." She chuckled. "Oh no, baby, I like walking. Helps me remember I'm alive." The investors admired her suddenly, standing straighter, adjusting their suits, trying to look respectful. Adrian leaned forward. "How did you acquire this fortune, if you don't mind me asking?" Evelyn smiled gently. "By living a long time, and by giving more than I took." Evelyn wasn't born wealthy. In fact, she grew up during one of the hardest periods of the 20th century. She worked multiple jobs, cleaning houses, sewing clothes, helping elderly neighbors, selling homemade food, anything to survive. She raised her siblings like a second mother. She raised her children with nothing but determination. She buried her husband after 50 years of love and partnership. At age 60, she invested small amounts into a community project run by young entrepreneurs she believed in. I didn't know business, she said with a smile. But I knew people, those young entrepreneurs. They built one of the biggest tech companies in the country. And Evelyn, being one of their earliest supporters, ended up with shares worth hundreds of millions. And I never touched the money, she added softly. Because life gave me enough. My needs are small. Adrian exhaled slowly. His arrogance melted into humility. Ms. Harper, he said softly, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have judged you based on appearance. Evelyn patted his hand gently. Baby, you didn't judge me. You just forgot something. What's that? Wealth doesn't shine. Character does. He felt those words land deeply. Everyone in the office stood still. Even the investors bowed their heads slightly. Adrian regained his composure. What would you like to do with your account, ma'am? Anything at all. We'll arrange it. Evelyn took a long breath. I want to set up a special fund. Adrian perked up. What kind of fund? She looked out the window at the bustling city. A fund that supports young people who feel invisible, like I once did. Adrian nodded slowly. That's possible. What amount would you like to start with? She smiled softly. All of it. Adrian nearly fell out of his chair. All of it? Yes, baby. I don't need money to feel whole. I just need to know it's doing good. He inhaled deeply. Ms. Harper, you're about to change thousands of lives. She winked. I changed mine by believing in others. Now it's their turn. Adrian had the entire staff gather in the main hall. Evelyn stood in the center, small, fragile, but dignified. Adrian announced, Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Evelyn Harper is now the founder of the Harper Hope Foundation, one of the largest private youth support funds in the state. The room erupted into applause. Some staff wiped tears. The investors approached to shake her hand. Evelyn simply said, Be kind to people before you know who they are, not after. Adrian lowered his head in respect. Over the next year, Evelyn's fund helped homeless youth find shelter, students receive scholarships, young entrepreneurs launch businesses, elderly caretakers receive support, community centers get funding. Her story spread throughout the city. People were amazed not by her wealth, but by her humility. And Adrian, he changed forever. He redesigned his financial center to welcome everyone equally. No more premium entrances. No more judging by appearance. He kept a framed quote on his desk. Wealth doesn't shine, character does. Evelyn Harper. 1 year later, Evelyn returned to the financial center. But this time, she didn't come alone. She was escorted by dozens of young people whose lives she had changed. They held flowers, thank you cards, and framed photos. Adrian greeted her at the door personally. Ms. Harper, it's an honor. Evelyn smiled softly. I came to check my balance again. He chuckled warmly. Well, your money is gone, because you gave it away. She tapped her heart. I meant this balance. He understood. Her legacy was richer than any account. And when she finally walked out of the building, the sunlight followed her like a blessing. The whole staff applauded until she disappeared into the bright afternoon light. You never lose what you give from the heart. You only multiply it. Don't forget to subscribe to USA Drama 2.0 for more inspiring stories.